My name is Karlo. I'm a developer at Lebesgue, and I've been working on Henri AI for these past few months. And I also use all of the AI tools available. So I want to share some of the insights that I've learned from using all of these tools and actually in creating Henri to help you use AI systems more efficiently and get the most out of your prompts. So I'm going to start with in the Henri interface, actually. So here's our Henri AI agent, and I'm going to show you some examples of bad prompts for Henri. So Henri is an AI agent that is actually connected to all of your store's data. So it has all of that context available for it, but when you prompt it in the right way, it actually pulls that data and analyzes it. And here's a kind of a half joke example of what users are actually asking Henri. So how do I make more money? And of course, it has to be spelled wrong because when you ask LLMs, you don't have to spell correctly. But yeah, this kind of question is really generic. So Henri here didn't actually analyze any of your store's data, and it just gave kind of a generic ChatGPT answer. And like a normal user would probably think, okay, so this tool isn't so powerful. Like it didn't give me any good advice. But you have to use some keywords and steer Henri into making the right decisions for you. So yeah, here you get some generic advice that you would probably get from ChatGPT itself if you ask how to make more money as an e-commerce business. So this is an example of a bad prompt and how you should not be prompting AI engines. And I have another one here, which is more specific. So I want to improve my Facebook creatives. So how do I improve my Facebook creatives? Again, it's really generic. So I didn't tell Henri, hey, analyze my creatives in the last 7 days and show me what worked well, which would actually trigger him to analyze some data. So again, I get some maybe more informed than ChatGPT because he has the context of that you are a fashion store and that it's Q4. So you get kind of a better answer than ChatGPT on its own, but still it didn't pull any of your data. So I'm going to show you an example of how to get the most out of Henri with a good prompt. So if I want to analyze Facebook creatives, I would ask something like, pull last week's Facebook creatives performance, show key metrics in a table, then analyze what's working, what's not, and try to explain why. And here, I want to just explain the structure of this prompt. So there are some few keywords that I used. So you want to pull some Facebook creative performance. So you specify which data you want him to look at. You specify which time frame you want him to look at and what output you're expecting from the LLM or the AI system. And also to analyze what's working, what's not, only when he pulled the data that he needs to actually make a good data-driven decision. And here we get a nice output from Henri. So we get a nice graph of Facebook creatives, we get some key takeaways, and a nice table that you actually requested. So this is what you wanted to see, and this is what you get. So you have to be really clear with AI systems, like what do you need the AI to do and what you want to see as an output. And yeah, you just get some great insights also. I'm going to show you another example, which is more focused on Black Friday, since everyone is preparing. And this is a more complex example. But for the Facebook creatives, I just wanted to see like a snapshot of my performance. Of course, this is much faster than just looking at the dashboards and you get some nice insights. But for more complex analysis, a system like Henri is really powerful, but you need to know how to use it. So if I ask some generic question like, how do I prepare my store for Black Friday and Cyber Monday? Henri actually proposes a plan, but again, it is quite generic. So this isn't really different from what you would get from ChatGPT itself. Like if you ask, how do I prepare my store? You just get generic advice, and this is just not what you want to see. So I want you to think about prompting AI in a little bit of a different way. And this is where I'm going to touch a bit on how this actually works behind the scenes. So how does the AI process all your data and how each turn actually fills up the context window of the AI. So this is the example for the Black Friday, a good prompt. So first I wanted to ask Henri, okay, I want to prepare for Black Friday. First, pull all my Facebook performance and winning creatives for Thanksgiving through Cyber Monday last year and analyze which ones worked and explain why. So he has a clear goal here. He analyzes all of your data from last year, and but only for Facebook. So it focuses on a real part of your business and gives some great insights. So you get all your creatives, why they worked, what was their performance of those creatives, and yeah, some recommendations for this year. But here, in the next question I have for Henri is actually, this prompt isn't as detailed as the one before. And why is that? Henri already has all of this data loaded in its context window above. So he can just look at the example for Facebook and replicate the same thing for Google. So this is why I can, in the same thread, ask, what about Google in the same period? And I get a nice report for Google because he has the example above. And I have a nice picture here. I think this is really useful to understand. I won't get really technical with it. I just want to explain. So every turn you are talking to an AI, all of the data that it has above the last message. So every message, AI researches, like pulls all your data and then gives a response. And then in the next question, when you prompt it again, it also needs to process all of the data before that. So this actually adds up and it clutters the context window. But you can use this as an advantage and as a disadvantage. So in this case, where I'm showing you how to do more complex analysis with Henri, you're using this context window to your advantage. So you are preloading quality context. So you want Henri to understand, how did my Facebook perform last year? So what worked? What are the recommendations for this year? And then to replicate the same thing for Google. So yeah, I want to know what worked last year, what didn't work, and what are the recommendations for this year. And then only then, when Henri has all of this preloaded in its context window, you ask a more broad question like, based on this data, how should I prepare for this year's Black Friday? Like, propose a structured plan for Facebook and Google, focus on maximizing ROAS and total sales, include recommendations. And this is how you get a nice report from an AI. So you use the context window of the AI and preload some quality context, so you know he knows what you want from it. So he gets me the budget split and pacing, so he now knows my channel split. What was it like last year? What worked? What didn't work? What was daily pacing? And this is just a nice plan for this year. And he actually analyzed what didn't work last year and tried to recommend how to get better performance this year. So this is just great. This is how you should be thinking of your interactions with AI systems. This works with ChatGPT. If you are researching something, try to first ask it like to research that topic more broadly and then go into the specific questions. And this is how you get better performance from AI systems in general. So, but this can all.
Karlo, if I can jump in just
Yeah,
for a sec,
sure.
I think this is really great. Yeah, the main idea is you talk to AI agents like you would talk to humans. So if you ask human like how do I make more money, it will give some great suggestion. If you really tell him like analyze last 7 days or last month, why am I not performing as good as before? Henri here has a full context, and then it works really, really well. And that's how you get the maximum out of this technology.
Yeah, I think it's nice to think about talking with AI. Like usually people just give it orders, so they don't treat it like a conversation. So it needs to be like a flow. You need to think about what the AI is actually giving you as an answer. So if AI is giving you something that you think that isn't correct, like you shouldn't make a plan based on some information that you don't think it's correct. So you need to actually tell it, okay, this isn't what you actually want for your business, because every business is different and AI doesn't have all the context that you usually have in your head. So yeah, this is why you need to do it step by step. And also I want to share how does a cluttered context window actually degrade performance. So this is on the other side of the story. So when I ask it a lot of questions here, as you can see, it can make a lot of nice graphs, but this data isn't really connected with my final question in this thread. So it already has preloaded all of this data above, and now I ask it, can you analyze my Facebook creatives last month versus the month before? And this just isn't related to any of the data above, and it will get me a worse answer because the AI isn't focused on just your data. So it has all of this above your current question, and if it's not related to your newest question, it can lose focus, hallucinate, or actually just degrade in performance. So yeah, this is what kind of report I would get in a cluttered context window. And if I show you the same report in a clean context window, I get just a much more detailed answer. I get a nice chart, I get key findings, I get some reallocation suggestions, which I think are really useful. And yeah, just a much more focused and clearer report. So I think this is the most important thing to understand when working with AI systems. So you have to be aware of its context window, what it has loaded into its context window, and how it impacts its performance in the long run. And another great tip that I would say is really underrated is when you are actually talking to AI systems, you can just ask it like, what are your capabilities? How should I be prompting you? So AI is really good at writing prompts for itself. So he knows what it can do for you, how powerful it is. He knows what it can do. We are working on this. Hopefully this section will not exist in the future. And yeah, it gives some nice prompt templates and analysis it can do for you. Uh, for example, if I want to analyze my Black Friday performance, I can ask, hey, hi, I want to analyze my Black Friday performance. So how can you help me with this analysis? And the AI will just tell you what it needs from you to get the most performance. So it needs the correct dates. It needs which past years you want to analyze. So you know which years were good for you and which ones it should not take into consideration, which promotions you used, and what channels are you prioritizing. So with this information, it can give you a much more clear and focused response. So yeah, actually, kind of a key point here is just to talk with the AI and just kind of use it as a conversation and come to a conclusion together. Don't just prompt it to give you a nice report and all of the answers all at once. Yeah.